Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's bad. And there are some really hard times in parenting, but that doesn't mean that it's bad overall, or that you're a bad parent, or that your child is bad. It doesn't mean that anything is bad. It's just hard. It's just difficult. And we can do really difficult things, and we can learn so much from it. I know I talk about so much on here, like flow and doing things that feel good and finding your alignment. And yes, those are important too, and they're so beautiful, but we're going to have hard times. And that doesn't mean they're bad. They're there to teach you, to expand you. So embrace them, flow with them, don't resist them. Talking to myself here, and just let it be a part of the beautiful dance, like we said earlier. Welcome to Alignment Adventures. This is a podcast where we explore what it means to live a fulfilling, aligning, and present life. I'm your host, Lindsay Tanner, and I am so grateful that you are here. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Alignment Adventures. As always, I am eternally grateful that you are here with me today. Today, I want to do an episode devoted to when parenting or when momming is really hard. Now, I'm not trying to make this a parenting podcast or a pregnancy podcast, even though that has been the topic of conversation recently, just because that's what's going on in my life. But I do want to share this, as always, in case it helps someone who's really just going through the thick of parenting and needs some comfort. I am by no means a parenting expert. I am in the trenches with you. I am exploring with all of you. I am just seeing what works and what feels most aligned to me. Like always, I'm just trying to find ways to do things that feel aligning, that feel expansive, that feel good. And it's taken some trial and error to find a way of parenting that does feel really good. And I feel like a lot of situations have come up recently, especially with being pregnant and especially watching two toddlers. If you didn't know, it can be really interesting and really challenging sometimes. So I just want to share my experience, what's really helped me, and hopes, as always, that it helps you. And even if you don't have kids, maybe you'll find this interesting, or as always, you can apply this to other challenging things in your life. I think the things that go along with parenting really can be applied to so many relationships we have in our life. Parenting, like other relationships, really are a mirror to ourselves. Those relationships that are hard can sometimes reflect back things to ourselves that we don't want to see. Parenting is just a bigger mirror. Like it's a bigger, more intense mirror, at least in my experience. So let's get into it. A little bit about my background if you're new here, in case you didn't know. By definition, I am a stay-at-home mom, so I watch Arlo full-time. And then 3 days a week, this last week, it was 4 days a week, I watch his cousin. It's Steven's cousin's daughter, so whatever you call that, like second cousins once removed. I don't know. They're cousins in some way. 3 days a week. They're about the same age. They're a month apart. They're both almost 3. So we're like in the thick of the 2s, almost 3. But let me tell you something. We've really been trying to rebrand the terrible 2s to boundary setting phase. Or what did someone else call it the other day? I was at this place we love to go to. It's the Transportation Museum here in St. Louis. And the volunteer there was calling it the terrific 2s. I mean, call it what you want. But sometimes when we do say the terrible 2s, that can just already put like a bad flavor on things, right? So I'm always a fan of reframing things so they serve you. And yeah, saying the terrible 2s, even though it feels like that sometimes, doesn't always serve me. We're definitely in our boundary setting phase. Like he is trying to figure out where the boundaries are. He is so curious, which I love, so curious about the world. And I don't want to stomp that out in any ways, but I'm also trying to keep him safe and also trying to raise a caring, empathetic human. And he's so sweet. Oh my goodness. And it's a lot sometimes. If you know, you know, it's a lot. I think each stage of parenting has so many beautiful things and obviously so many challenges, like from newborn to where we are right now at almost 3. I'm about to go into the newborn phase again, which I've like kind of forgotten everything. So that will be interesting. But I do think every phase, and I'm sure I'll continue to think this hopefully, has so many beautiful parts and also challenges. Like, he is so fun right now and just says the cutest things. And I want to like record every single thing he says. And I just love having conversations with him. And he's so sweet and he's just the best. He's my buddy, my schnookum. That's what I call him. But anyways, with that comes some very interesting, challenging times. For instance, we have recently changed him over to a big boy bed. So he's out of his crib. He was just too big for it. I think he was rebelling in there. It was time. We need his crib for his little sister anyways, who's coming in September. So we're like, let's just do it. He sleeps great at night, which I am so grateful for. Thank you, Arlo, for sleeping great at night. But naps were a struggle. Again, he's so curious. I think he just, like, now that he had this freedom in his room, which we do lock the door, so he stays in his room, he just was having a struggle napping. Like, we didn't nap for like a week or so. And I was so nervous that he was done with naps. I think I've mentioned that on previous episodes. Like, he's always been a little iffy with his naps. Finally, I want to say, I think we are back to a consistent nap schedule. He's gotten back into the rhythm and gotten used to his big boy bed. But man, as a full-time mom, I need breaks. Even if it's just a tiny break, I need a break to just recharge, rejuvenate, so I can continue to show up as like a level-headed, calm human being. That is the hardest part with parenting, I have noticed, is like maintaining your own peace, calm, well-being, and maintaining your own emotions, handling your own emotions properly while they're having their big emotions, because they're humans too. They have big emotions and they're just now figuring out how to express them. And they come out as tantrums, as screaming, as yelling, maybe hitting, maybe other things. And that can be really hard to witness and also keep your peace and calm. I recently started a book, which I just started it and I haven't really gotten that far, but it's called Peaceful Parent, Happy Kids. And that's what that book is all about, like maintaining your own well-being so you can show up as the best parent for your kids. And man, that's been such a lesson. And that has definitely been our struggle. Again, especially with 2 toddlers and being pregnant. When I really didn't feel good, man, there were some tough times. I was in survival mode. I'm feeling much better. Thank goodness I'm in my 2nd trimester. So that helps a lot. And we've just gotten into a better flow. I saw this on a TikTok the other day and it's so true. I feel like these are the 2 things that cause a lot of suffering and unhappiness in parenting, because that can be a common narrative. And don't get me wrong, I love the memes and the reels where you're just like kind of commiserating, what's the right word? Bonding over how hard parenting can be. Like the really funny ones just make me laugh so hard. But also it's like a slippery slope of like not getting lost in that parenting is only this hard struggle. Yes, it is a challenge sometimes. It is a lot. And there's also so much beauty. So anyways, I saw this TikTok the other day. This girl I love to follow, I think her name is Ebby Moyer, and she just shares so much wisdom. Anyway, she was talking about the 2 main reasons people really suffer in parenting is 1, they feel unsupported. Like truly, it does take a village. So if you feel like you don't have support, which I'm so grateful, we're back here in the St. Louis area and have so much support now, that does make a huge difference. But even if you don't have family support, do you have other support in terms of friends or even just childcare that you can like get those breaks again? It's so important. So if you don't feel like you have the support, that obviously makes things so difficult. The second thing that makes parenting really hard, she was talking about, is trying to maintain your life before parenting while being a parent, and having this mentality like, if I can just fix this one thing, if I can just get them to sleep or get them to stop doing this one thing, then we can have life like it was before parenting. And I can definitely feel like I'm in that space sometimes, and that's a really, again, slippery slope to be in. I remember before having Arlo, I was like, I'm not going to change. Like, I'm still going to be me. I'm still me. But your life changes drastically. And resisting that can cause so much suffering. I've talked about how I've resisted being a stay-at-home mom, that title. I still don't love the title. I don't know what it is, but like I just resist. I have a lot of resistance there. That can cause so much suffering. Okay, yes, your life changes drastically, but it also expands in so many ways. And I feel like with parenting, you have the choice. Do you pick the constrictive route or the expansive route? Do you flow with the river and see how beautiful having this new life and how much they teach you? Oh my gosh, I talk about this all the time. Arlo teaches me so much. He's such a reminder to be curious, to be present, to have fun, to just like enjoy the parts of being a human. We get so caught up in our adultness, like we got to do this and we got to be here in this time and blah, blah, blah. And they're just like enjoying life. They're enjoying the little things. They love the little things. They're so amused by like a bug outside or flowers or the garbage truck, right? And they're just such beautiful teachers. So you can choose that path that is expansive, and you can see the challenges as opportunities to grow and think of them as little mirrors to yourself. And how can I, keep myself in check and reevaluate how I'm handling my emotions to model how to handle your emotions to them. Or you can choose the constrictive route where everything is just a struggle and you're still trying to live that life that you had before. And I'm not saying you can't do the things you did before, because we still try to travel and camp and do the things we loved before. I still have this podcast. I still am passionate about a lot of the things I was before Arlo. It just looks different. And resisting how it looks different is going to cause so much suffering. And trying to get back to your pre-kid self and trying to just like maintain that, from experience, it's just hurting you. And again, just robbing you from this beautiful season that you're in. That's something that I think about a lot. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. But recently I've been thinking about how he's going to be a big boy someday and he's not going to want to like do all these things with me. And I have also seen reels where it's like I'm an 85-year-old woman and I woke up in my 35-year-old body, and like these are all the things that I experienced. And you just see everything in your day-to-day that now may seem mundane and like a chore as like so wonderful. Like your kids waking you up. And again, I know that can be difficult, but if you just like reframe that perspective, the power of perspective, to how beautiful it would be to like go back in time and relive this season that you're in right now when you're in a completely different season. It just really refreshes your perspective and really gives you a new look on all the things that you're doing. And again, you're not going to be there all the time. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get angry. I definitely feel those a lot. I allow myself to feel them. And another thing that has really helped me, really, really helped me, and I want to say this to normalize it and just for anyone else out there to like not feel like there's something wrong with them. A big breakthrough that I've been having recently with parenting, and I kind of discovered this on my own, and then I really dug into it in therapy, which I've started therapy again. I found a therapist that I love. That's a separate story. Is this idea that I don't enjoy every part of motherhood all the time, and that's okay. I don't know if it's this narrative that we've gotten from social media or where we got it. Like you just see people posting like the highlights, right? And I felt like if I wasn't enjoying every second, like what's wrong with me? Like do I not have the proper genes to be a mother? Do I not have the right, like what's wrong with me? Why am I not enjoying this all the time? Of course, there are moments that I enjoy so much and I have so much fun with Arlo. And there's moments that I'm not enjoying, that I'm not having fun. And that's okay. I've really had to dive into that. It's okay that I don't enjoy every single part. Just like a job you may have, even if it's a job you love, you may not love every single thing that you do in that job. With anything, you may not love every single thing. And I think normalizing that and saying it and like accepting it and not judging yourself, because what can happen is when you're not enjoying it, you're like, what's wrong with me? And then you go down this spiral of like shame and guilt. And why am I not enjoying this right now? It's okay if you're not enjoying every stage or every activity that you're doing or every part about being a parent or a mother. It's okay. That's how I feel. So like, let's normalize it if you feel the same way. So back to therapy real quick. I just want to give an example of flow. So I've been trying to go to therapy for like the past year and a half, over a year. And I just kept finding therapists that just like weren't the right fit exactly. And I feel like that is what stops a lot of people, is just the process of finding a therapist that you love. And I totally get that because that can be tricky. Anyways, through Flow, my sister-in-law invited me to this play place, I guess you could call it, like a playroom. Yeah, playroom, that's what it's called. And it's kind of farther away from our house. But they had a mom circle there that was run by a therapist. So I went, and the moms just kind of circle up and the kids play. And yes, it's chaotic, but you just get to talk to other moms. And she just kind of led discussions about mom guilt, mom rage, partner resentment, just like things that we go through as moms. And hearing other moms say the things that I was thinking and judging myself for and like had so much shame and guilt around was so beautiful. I'm like, they need to have these everywhere. It was such a beautiful experience. So maybe Google like mom circles in your area. I don't know if they have one like that, but if you're in the St. Louis area, message me and I'll give you the information for this mom circle. Anyways, I loved the therapist there. Like, she was totally my vibe, totally my energy. So I ended up contacting her like months later. Some other things happened where I was like, okay, it's time to start therapy again. Contacted her. I've been going a few times now and absolutely love her. And I've been going in person. I feel like that's something that got lost with COVID, which thank goodness there is virtual therapy. And I think maybe we'll get to that point, and it's so beautiful. But I really wanted to connect with her face to face at first. And it's just been such a beautiful gift to myself. So that brings me to another point. With pregnancy, I feel like, and I was talking about this with a friend, she felt the same way. With pregnancy, I don't know if it's evolutionary, like your awareness and your consciousness is like, okay, you're bringing in a new life. It's time to deal with these other things you've been avoiding. But so many things can come up. And I felt this way with Arlo, but I feel it even more with this pregnancy, with this sweet little girl. So that was another nudge to go to therapy. I was like, okay, there's just a few things here that I really want to dive into and kind of like talk about with someone else so I can truly feel it, let it go, and not carry that into being a parent to this new human. Like, I'm going to be a parent to 2 humans now. And that's another beautiful gift of pregnancy and parenting, is it's such an invitation to just like show up as the best version of you. Again, I sound like a broken record here, not in a perfectionist way. Like, release the perfectionism around being your best self and being the perfect parent, because that doesn't exist. That does not exist. That is not the goal. But it is such a beautiful invitation to just like deal with your shit. That's the best way to say it, to deal with your shit, so you're not passing that on to your kids. And that's why I started therapy again, because I was like, okay, there's just a few things that I've been thinking about recently that I really want to process and not carry around with me. And I've been feeling so light recently, like just talking about these things and saying it, like the thing I said earlier about not enjoying every second of motherhood, and someone saying, yeah, there's nothing wrong with you. That's totally normal. That is so validating and feels so good. Hopefully this space can be that for you too. Like, I can say these things and you're like, yes, I feel that way too. And it can feel so light and freeing. But another invitation to just like go seek out help if you need it. It's okay if you need someone to talk about these things with. And also, if you're in the St. Louis area, reach out to me and I can share my therapist too, because I think she's accepting new patients and I love her. Love her energy. She's totally the energy of Alignment Adventures, which I adore. All right, in true Lindsay fashion, I've been all over the place, but let me go back to my list that I created of things that have really helped me when I'm having a tough or challenging time as a parent, as a mom. The first one I already mentioned, but it's just admitting to yourself that you're not enjoying every moment and being okay with that and not shaming or having guilt around that. You can let go of that story that you have to enjoy every single second of motherhood to be a good mom, and you can still adore your child, think they're the best thing in the world and love them so much, and still get angry, bored, frustrated, all those things. Like, those two things can exist. We can have both sides of the pendulum, and that's okay. So that leads me into my second one, which is feel your feels. Now, this one can be tricky. I have had to feel my feels in front of Arlo and his cousin sometimes. Yes, I've cried in front of them. But I also feel like what a beautiful gift to show them that it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel your feelings. When anger comes up, I have had moments that I've not been proud of. And again, I want to admit that on here to be real and transparent with you all. And I try to reflect on them and grow every single time. And I always apologize when I feel like I'm not showing up respectfully. So when you're feeling angry, that could be a tough one, but do what you need to do to get through the moment. If you need to step away, if you can step away, do that and process it. Go like scream in a pillow or something. Like, I saw this thing on the Today Show the other day. We turn that on every once in a while. I'm not the biggest fan of the news, but they were having rage rituals for moms. And I'm like, what a beautiful gift where you can just go and like smash things. I think that's really powerful. I would love to go do a rage ritual. Mia Magic talks about them all the time. She also had something on the Today Show, which I love seeing her witchiness in mainstream media, but just giving yourself an outlet to process your anger. Hopefully you can do that later and not necessarily in front of your kids, but also if you need to process it in front of them, doing it in a calm and respectful way and being like, mommy is really angry right now. I need to go step away so I can process this. Like, what a beautiful gift to your kids. And I'm still working on that. I'm not doing it perfectly, but just allowing yourself to feel your feels and not like pushing it to the side. Such a beautiful gift and such a beautiful lesson to your children. Talking about it, like I said, with a therapist, with a friend, a mom's group, your friends, like just having a space where you can get it all out feels so good. Someone that like understands. That's another thing I love about my therapist is she's a mom. So like she just understands and she kind of specializes in like mom stuff, which I found very reassuring because that's obviously a majority of things that I want to talk about have to do with parenthood and motherhood. Honestly, what is a bigger shift that you go through in life than motherhood, than having a child? Like, I personally can't think of one. Of course, I've had major shifts like getting married and moving across the country, but having Arlo, having a child, going through birth, becoming a mother was definitely the biggest shift I've ever gone through. And I just feel like sometimes we're not totally prepared for how big of a shift that is. So if you can have people to guide you along the process, to talk to with through the process, it's just so beautiful. And I feel like we've lost that along the way because we all live in our separate houses and we're just a little bit more disconnected and we're not living as intergenerationally anymore. So like we don't have that wisdom passed down, or you may be getting it in some way, but just having that camaraderie with other mothers, other parents it's so needed. So needed. Another thing is not shaming myself. I've talked about this multiple times now, but not falling into that shame spiral. As a mother, if you feel like you're not doing like the best thing for your children, there's so many decisions we have to make as parents, as mothers, when it comes to food, schooling, parenting styles, all of it. Do not shame yourself. You are doing the best you can with what you know. So let the past be the past. We've all had moments that we're not proud of because we're all human, and it's beautiful that you're showing your children that you are human. And just keep trying your best, but do not shame yourself. That's not going to help your mindset. That's not going to help your well-being at all. So please just allow yourself to let go of that shame so you can step into a parenting groove that really serves you and aligns with you and feels good. Okay, I already mentioned this one too, but it's worth another mention. Know when it's time to walk away. We can feel that anger or just big emotion bubbling up and you know you may not handle it properly, walk away. If you can, just walk away. The power of breath is so powerful. I'm still working on this one too, but there's so much power in just taking a breather. Like I said, I need those breaks. That's why nap time is so important because I need that time to reset. Another thing that's really helped me is just finding parenting styles that work for you. Maybe what I'm saying on here doesn't feel like the most aligned way for you to parent. There are so many different ways to parent. I personally really relate to the way that is more gentle and intuitive, and that just feels really good to me. I know those are like trendy styles of parenting right now, like the respectful, gentle parenting, but honestly that just helps me feel better. Like I don't feel good when I'm like a super strict I don't like to yell, even though I have yelled before, parent. And I'm not saying we're not setting boundaries. We are definitely setting boundaries as parents, but you can do that in a way that feels good to you. So just explore different parenting styles and find one that works for you, that feels good to you, because there's so many different ways you can do this. I've mentioned this before, but some books that I absolutely love for parenting are How to Talk So Little Kids Will Listen and Hunt, Gather, Parent. I didn't love every single thing in those books, but they really just resonated with me. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is another way to parent that just makes sense, especially with Hunt, Gather, Parent. That one will kind of blow your mind, because it's all about like how people in these ancient civilizations are civilizations that are really connected to how things were done in the past, how they're doing it so differently than like the modern parent. Very, very interesting. Another thing that really helps us, especially when we're having a hard day, and if you can do it, is go outside. The power of nature and how it calms everyone. And it's just like a reset. You can even do that. I saw this other girl that I follow on social media. She says that they'll just do a reset and they'll all put their hands in and be like, okay, we're resetting for the day. And I'm like, that is so cute. I definitely want to start doing that with Arlo. If we're having a hard time, just be like, okay, we're resetting our energy. But nature is such a beautiful way to do that. Just go outside, go for a walk, go play outside. It calms everyone. One thing that I personally love at the end of the day, and I'll do this when Steven gets home and he is spending some time with Arlo, is I will take a really long, really hot shower. Not really long, but like maybe 10 minutes or so. Hot shower. That just feels so good to me. And I will imagine that the water is just like washing away the heaviness of the day, anything that I'm holding on to. And it's just like a little spa moment for myself. So if you have the time and space, allow yourself to take a beautiful, nice, hot shower. And then, of course, I talk about this on almost every single episode, but working on things that excite me fuels my soul, makes me a happier person. So then I'm showing up as a happier person for my son. And that just makes a world of difference. When I had to take a break from the podcast because I wasn't feeling good because pregnancy and all that, and just being exhausted, honestly, I feel like that made me feel worse. Even though I physically couldn't do it, I felt like I had no energy, nothing to give. It's crazy how much showing up in this space and just doing the things I love is so energy giving. So if you're not making time and space for the things that give you so much energy to fuel your passions, to fuel your soul, you are going to feel drained. You are going to feel dead inside, and that's going to make it even harder. So just giving yourself just a little bit of time here and there, you can find the time. I know you can, is just going to be a gift to everyone in your family and in your life. Reference the Fuel Your Soul episode if you need to. Okay, I'm going to leave you with a few quotes that have really helped me recently when it comes to parenting. And hopefully they can help you too. I got these from Hey Shayla. I follow her on Instagram and YouTube. If you resonate with the way I'm parenting, go and follow her. She does things like all natural, similar parenting styles. I learned a lot about cloth diapering from her, and there's lots of different things. I love her energy, so go check her out if you are looking for moms to follow on YouTube. But she was talking about a bunch of quotes that she's just been thinking about recently. And I think they can really help you when you're having a hard time as a parent. The first one is, you can't control the chaos, but you can control your calm. So true. So much of parenting is just, there's chaos, and you can't control your kids. That's another thing. Like, you cannot physically control them. Maybe when they're little, you can physically pick them up and make them do things. But as time goes on, and for me, as I'm getting more and more pregnant, Arlo's getting bigger, I can't do that. You cannot control them. So when things are feeling chaotic, the only thing you can control is yourself and your own calm. Isn't that something we've talked about so many times on here? Releasing the things you can't control and focusing on what you can control. So when things feel chaotic, focus on your own calm, because kids pick up on your energy. There's so much that it influences, and we just forget, and it's so easy to get caught up in the chaos. So just remember that when you can't control the chaos, you can control your own calm. Now, this next quote I love, because this really connects to our mindset around becoming a parent and trying to hang on to maybe our life before when we didn't have all the responsibilities of being a parent. And that is either you can do it like it's a big weight on you, or you do it as a part of the dance. And I think that's from Rumi, who's like a big philosopher. I don't know much about him, but he has a bunch of quotes out there that I love. What a beautiful mindset to have. So true. Like with anything in parenting, there's so many little mundane things that you have to do throughout the day. You can do it as like, this is a huge weight that I'm carrying around, or you can just pretend that it's not even pretend, but if you need to pretend. You can really embrace the fact that it is a part of this beautiful dance that you're doing. And yes, it's chaotic. Yes, it's crazy. Yes, it's unknown. But embracing the dance that is parenting and trying to do things with kids. And yes, they want to do it on their own, or maybe they want to help you and you get frustrated and it may take longer, but just make it a part of the dance. Embrace it. Kids love helping you. Arlo loves helping with anything that we're doing, and that's so beautiful. They talk about that in Hunt Parent Gather, and allowing them to help, even if it does make it longer, even if they do make a bigger mess, that really instills this idea that they're a part of the family and they're here to help contribute to the family as a whole and help things get accomplished. They're not there to like be distracted by TV so we can clean, right? Or whatever it may be, but just including them in everything and really making it this beautiful dance. It's just such a beautiful way to look at it. And I've definitely been trying to embrace that more as well. All right, this last one hits home, but hard doesn't mean it's bad. Like, whew. So true and can be applied to so many things in life. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's bad. And there are some really hard times in parenting, but that doesn't mean that it's bad overall, or that you're a bad parent, or that your child is bad. It doesn't mean that anything is bad. It's just hard. It's just difficult. And we can do really difficult things and we can learn so much from it. I know I talk about so much on here like flow and doing things that feel good and finding your alignment. And yes, those are important too. And they're so beautiful. But we're going to have hard times, and that doesn't mean they're bad. They're there to teach you, to expand you. So embrace them, flow with them, don't resist them. Talking to myself here, and just let it be a part of the beautiful dance, like we said earlier. So I hope this episode helped you, especially if you're a mother or a parent, or even if you're not, just like an interesting conversation about parenting. I've learned so much, and I know I'm going to continue to learn so much, especially as we welcome our second child, as I become a mom of 2. Like I said, I can feel myself evolving as a mom. I actually did a whole YouTube video on this if you want to go check it out. I can feel things changing and shifting, and I'm just trying to flow with the river, embrace the growth, because we're always growing, and that's a beautiful thing. And parenting can be such a beautiful invitation to that growth if you allow it to be. It doesn't mean you're enjoying every second of it. Like I said, it's okay if you're not enjoying every moment. That is completely normal. But it is such a beautiful journey if you allow it to be. So I'm sending you all so much love. Please send this episode to anyone that you think needs to hear this message or be a part of this conversation. If you're new here, please subscribe. We have new episodes about every other week has been the pattern right now. I'm actually getting to record quite a few more today. I'm trying to get as many done as I can while I have the time. So subscribe if you're new here. Leave a review if you haven't yet. That just helps the podcast so much. So anytime you share the podcast, leave a review. That's free support. And I am just eternally grateful for those small steps that you can take to support the podcast. And as always, I'm sending you so much love, all the high vibes, and of course, I'll see you in the next episode of Alignment Adventures.